Hi everyone, it's Sheila and happy Wednesday. Oh my goodness, we're in the middle of the work week, so 2 more days left. And I can't wait till the weekend. I am so exhausted. I have an employee out on sick leave and I work in a small office, and when one of us is out, the others totally have to pay the price. It's horrible. And yeah, she's been out for a couple of weeks and we still have about a week and a half to go. A total should be out a whole month. So it's just been rough. I'm just been I get home from work and I'm totally exhausted, and yeah, so hence why I seem to be having fun with these car vlogs, excuse me, as well, because I can do this on my way home from work or when I'm out and about, and I don't know, they're just fun. So I'm totally enjoying it. And yeah, so what I kind of wanted to talk about today is and this is something I was going to do it on my Sunday Chit Chat, but I ended up not having time to do it because I had to run some errands, and I tried to upload one. Well, I recorded one, but I didn't like it. I don't know, I was exhausted, and I think I just didn't like I just sounded so blah. And so I didn't want to, just come on and just totally bore you all to death. So I just kind of thought, I'll just do it some other time. And I'm actually on my way home right now, and the traffic is kind of light. So I thought, it's appropriate time I can do it. And what I really want to talk to you about is I have a friend, and I feel really bad because, and I want to know if this has happened to anyone else and how you feel about it. If you are the person that do something like this, or if you're a person that hasn't had it done to you, or just give me your opinion in general. I have a really good friend, or two really good friends. They're a couple, or shall I say they were a couple. And it was a very strenuous situation in the beginning for them to be together. And I guess I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. Well, my friend, one of them decided that it was time to move on, and that she just couldn't do it anymore, for various reasons, and the reasons are very personal. So I don't really, I could get into it because of course no one knows who I'm talking about, but then yet someone may hear this or see this and know them. So I don't want to go too much in detail. But yeah, so for various reasons, she knew that it was it just couldn't be, and so she finally had to just make that decision. And I know, because I know her very well, and I know the decision wasn't made because she didn't love him anymore, or it wasn't a situation where she was just using him or anything. So in turn, he got. And they had talked about so much, they were close, and they had talked so much about, they both knew that the situation was very, that it was a different situation, and that they didn't know how it was going to, if they would make it, or how, or, all that good stuff. And it seemed that they both understood, he always seemed to understand. They would talk about it, and he would say, it won't change the way I feel about you, and yeah, if it happens to be that one day you can't do this, I understand. There's a lot of things. He has a very difficult type of a job. It keeps him going in several different directions, moment notice. It's just very different, and she's got a crazy circumstance as well. So it was just so many obstacles, I guess, against them. Yet I think in both of their hearts, because they still do love each other. They love each other a lot, and they just they both wanted it to work because of the love that they felt for each other. And when she made the decision, like I said, I just kind of, I'm like, hey, I'm a neutral friend. I love you both, and I'm going to be here for both of you. And, because you guys have promised there will be no animosity between the two of you, I'm really hoping that that's going to be the case. And, I'm not going to, dislike him or dislike you. It's, I totally get it. It's you guys' business, whatever. Well, that was fine. But then I got a call from him And, you know, he was just like very upset. And I understand, because I think because she is the one that made the decision that she was going to move, that just couldn't be anymore. I think, and I understand that he wants this relationship, and I think he feels that she's not giving it a fair chance. And so there's, you know, he calls me, he's very upset, he's saying horrible things about her, he texts her all the time. I mean, and you know, I'm not a 20-year-old, and my friends aren't 20-year-olds, but he's, you know, he texts her some, you know, things like, you know, God is, you know, I hope you realize that you reap what you sow, and, you know, and just, I hope you are miserable with the next relationship, and just, I don't know, it just shocked me. And so I said to him, I said, hey, you know, I can't condone this type of behavior. Like, as much as I love you, I love her too, and I don't want to see you guys become enemies over this. I mean, I'm not saying, I know it'd be difficult to see each other and not be, because I know she's hurting just as bad. I mean, I watched her just break into tears, and I know that she's not sleeping at night, and she misses him so much. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But he's got it in his head that, you know, she used him, she played him, and I'm like, no. Like, you guys spent all this time talking and understanding and knowing your situation. I mean, I understand. I know how pain, because when people get hurt, they lash out, and, you know, they say things, and then they'll regret it later. But it's a common behavior that people will just be like, oh my God, you know, I can't stand you, I hate you, and da da da. And he's never said I hate you, which I'm glad he's never said that. But it's sad, because he says things like, you know, and I know he's a Christian. I'm not doubting his Christianity, but yet he throws the Bible and stuff in her face. Yet what he's doing is not biblical. And I tried to make him understand that. I was like, hey, look, you know, you're saying all these things to her, but do you realize that you're not being biblical yourself right now? Like, I mean, yes, you're hurting, but you're lashing out at her, and two wrongs don't make a right. So then he got upset with me, because he felt like I was taking sides, and I was just like, I'm not taking sides. I love you both, and I do. And I wish I pray to God that somehow or another they can find their way back together, because I do think that they were meant to be. I know that it's just a bad timing right now. It's just you know, and I feel for both of them. So like I told him, I said, look, I said, just, you know, just leave the comments to yourself. Just, you know, just don't text her, don't call her, don't, you know, just, because you're making that pathway so bad, and you don't have to, because I know this isn't you. You're not that kind of person. So anyway, he ended up, you know, like totally angry at me, and I haven't spoken to him. I mean, like, he kind of like hung up on me, and we were done with the conversation. So I don't know. It just really bothered me, and I thought, you know, am I like the only person that feels this way? I mean, I know I've been in some bad situations before, and I've had some horrible breakups. I left a guy, and I mean, when I say this, it's like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm saying this out loud, but I was dating a guy. I was dating him for, what, 2 years? Yeah, about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. I think 2 years. And he became it was a one-time abuse, and it was, you know, I had, because of my first marriage, I had said that I wouldn't, you know, it was like one of those things, I had taken that before, and I know the consequences behind taking that. So I had vowed, you know, I would never let that happen to me again. So when it happened that one time, I was gone, just like that. We were scheduled to get married in October, and this happened like in September. And I was like, I'm out. And I left, and I never looked back. And, you know, I think about like the way I handled that. Like, everyone was like shocked, because I resolved the issue. I just said, you know what? I'm going to end this relationship. And I never spoke about him to anybody other than it ended. I don't even think some of my friends even knew what happened. Like, My son was gone at the time. We had just bought a house because we were moving in. We literally had just moved into the house because we were like literally going to be getting married in October. Like I had my wedding dress. It wasn't going to be a big fancy wedding or anything. We were just, having simple friends over and getting married. And but I literally called a realtor. I need a place to live, and everyone's like, "You're not going to fight for the house." I was like, "Nope, don't want it," And I rented a house and was out I was out of that house in like maybe a week by the time I got, everything taken care of for the rent house and movers planned and everything. And I never, the only thing I said to him was that you know what you did and you know what I've gone through. And therefore you do understand that I cannot take you back. I can't hear I'm sorry. And we're done. And I could have said some horrible things about him to him, whatever, and I just walked away. And to this day, if I saw him on the street, I have nothing bad to say. Like, I have nothing bad to say. And I don't know. I just don't do things like that. I just think it's so wrong when people just get angry and they say hateful things to each other. And and if I tell you this next story, it's going to be funny because you're going to call me like a runaway bride, because that's what my friends used to call me. Because for some reason, I'm the girl who never wanted to ever get married. I shouldn't say I never wanted to ever get married. It's not that I didn't want to get married. I just, I was not in a rush. Like, I was like, I got to find the guy. Like, I got to find the guy. So, I wasn't that person that, on the first date, so what do you think about marriage? I have friends that are like that. And I'm like, you start talking marriage, peace out. Don't want to be around you. But, so I have another situation, and I still commend this guy so much right now. Like, I saw him and his wife like several years ago. He's been married now for a long time. But I just, kudos to him because he handled it like a man. And I felt like I really hurt him, and I know I did. I dated a guy, and like literally like a month, and I had no idea that, I know because of his religious background, like he didn't want to do like sex before marriage and things like that. So I was totally cool with that to a certain point. Like I just said, I have my beliefs about that too, which I don't believe two people should get married without having a sexual relationship encounter, because I just feel that it's too serious of a thing, and there has to be, things have to work, if you know what I mean. And if you're talking a lifetime commitment, and I know everybody have their own opinion of that, but that's just my opinion, and his opinion was opposite of mine, obviously. And we only dated for like a month, and we were friends before dating. Like we hung in the same circle, so to speak. And on Valentine's Day, that happened to be within that month of us dating, we go over to his mom's house because he called me and said, "Hey, my parents are having dinner," because they were really a big family type. They were family people. So, and he was like, "Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Sure." I loved his parents, and his sister was awesome. So we go over, and I think my son was not with me. I don't know where he was. Maybe he was spending the night with a friend, or I don't know. But so we get there. I get there, and we have dinner. His mom has prepared this gorgeous meal, and she had everything was like really pretty for Valentine's Day, and I just thought it was so nice. Like, I thought this family was super great. And lo and behold, I'm sitting there, and then out comes the rain. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there thinking, why? I've known you a month. Like, I've known you longer, but I've dated you a month. And I had no idea what to do. And I did the worst thing ever. I don't know what to tell people to do in a situation like this, but I guess I did the wrong thing. I don't know. I still think I would probably do it again if that happened to me. But, he pulls out the ring, and in front of his parents, he proposes to me. And I'm like, oh my God. So I take it. Like, I didn't know what else to do. I felt like, oh my God, if I say no in front of his parents, that's going to be horrible. And I figured I'd just take it. And then when we had a moment to discuss, you know, like what's going on here with the ring thing, then, you know, we can have our private time to discuss it, because I really felt like that was something that should have, I mean, I know you don't want to say, hey, I want to ask you to marry you, but like at least have some inkling that that person wants to be married. Like, you know what I mean? So I accepted the ring, and then I thought about it for a couple days. I mean, I didn't do it like right away, because I really wanted to make sure that I was telling him the right thing. And I was sitting at work one day, and work came about, and my big boss people were in from out of town, and they wanted to take a group of us to happy hour. And I called him to tell him, you know, hey, I'll be at happy hour for a couple hours. My coworkers, my big boss is in from out of town, and blah blah blah. And he got really upset with me, because he, like I said, he has very strong religious beliefs, and he didn't feel like I should be hanging out in the clubs, and especially now that I was engaged to him, and he was an upcoming minister, like he was studying to be ordained as a minister. And I said to him, I said, well, A, we're not married, and B, I'm not like hanging out in the club. This is like kind of like a job function. Like, I don't even drink. I've never had a drink in my entire life. So it's not like, I mean, I'm going with my boss, like, you know, but he still just totally was against it. And so I knew that day I have to go home and invite him over and tell him, like, I have to. So I told him to meet me at the house, like, when I was done, and he did. And it was kind of like a mutual thing. Like, he was like, you know, I can't have a prospective wife hanging out in bars. And I said, well, and I can't have a prospective husband at this point in my life. Like, I care about you a great deal, and you're a wonderful guy. And he was a wonderful father, and would have been a wonderful stepfather to my son. But I can't do this. I can't marry you. And first of all, I was totally thrown off guard when you gave me the ring. And I don't want to hurt you. Like, I care about you too much. So I'm going to bow gracefully. And, you know, and we did. Like, I mean, he was a little bit hurt that day. I mean, you know, like, I mean, even though I know he knew that he had to give me, you know, like, he wasn't going to be able to make this relationship work any more than I could. But also, I know that he felt hurt, because I think he felt like I was not betraying myself to be the person he wanted me to be. But like I explained to him, I think you were hoping me to be someone that I'm not. And maybe I was hoping him to be someone that he's not. Like, I don't know. But, you know, we never said anything bad to each other, about each other. You know, just nothing. I saw him maybe 8 or 9 months later. He was married. And that kind of shocked me, because I was like, wow. And I even got the bigger shock when I looked down on her finger and my ring was there. I was like, ooh. But it's like, you know, it's okay. I mean, it was a beautiful ring, and I wore it all but like maybe maybe 2 weeks. And so, you know, yeah, so I was like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not upset or anything like that. And but so, I mean, we were able to do it. Like, I don't understand why people can't do that. Like, they can't say goodbye or just deal with their hurt in private. I mean, in this person, like, he's gone and mentioned it to his family, his sisters and brothers. Like, he's really putting her out there, and it's bothering me, because I know that that's not him. I know that that's not them. They mean more than that. That relationship was a powerful, it was serious, and I know it from the bottom of my heart. Like, I know it, like I know the back of my hand. Like, so I'm really just bothered by it. And so I just pulled into my driveway, and I just I'm going to end the video, but I just want y'all's opinion. Like, what do you think about that? Do you have situations like that in like within your friendship circle, or have you been in a situation like that? How do you respond when, you know, if you've had a breakup? You know, like, are you that person that send hate emails and text messages and, you know, just craziness, or do you just bow out gracefully? And I'm just curious, because it is bothering me so much, and I want better for him and better for her. Like, well, better for him than to treat her that way and belittle himself like that, like throw himself into that category of being like every other guy. And then I want better for her, because I don't think she deserves to be thrown on the bus, because I know for a fact that man means everything to her. And if she could switch the events in their lives around to where it would work, I know she would do it in a heartbeat. I know she would. So anyhow, that's my little chit chat for Sunday that I'm doing on Wednesday on my ride home from work. Thank you so much for having this car ride with me. I hope you all have a happy Wednesday evening, and I will see you all in my very next video. And please, please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe.